Anybody asserting protection of an insider to penalize defense with no say in the matter is a communist. Doesn't matter who it is. There's no one group, no majority, one cabal that gets all the capitalism. It's called communism. You're denying me due process on false pretense. Catholics, can we wrangle some of these idiot prods into a quantifiable contingent? Like, just convince these idiots. I know it's against their religion to go along with anything that makes sense. Communism's bad, kids, because you don't have rights. The government gets to tell you what you get, and it's not necessarily, you know, this. What we have now is not capitalism. So the past 30 years they've been talking about capitalism, but we've had Reaganomics that trickle down. That's communism. Or, I mean, then we've got fascist players, but the system in general, we've got elite wealth oligarchs. They're trying to take down the IRS, and they appear to be eyeballing the Supremes for dessert. The Supremes have a few simple steps they could take to remedy, neutralize, resolve the situation financially. Jackson stays on the money, for instance. I remember when W started with the executive orders, and everybody's like, "He's not supposed to do that," and then Obama did it, and everybody's like, "He's doing way too much." And President Biden may have been unduly influenced, such as deceived into thinking I had disrespected him, or flip-flopped, or misled. I had been posting to the Russian Eastern Orthodox for at least weeks before some random Ukrainian contacted me. I said, "Oh, I want to talk to the church about it." I never got around to it, but they started a war. And intel sucks. I'm not obligated to the limitations of what passes for intelligence these days. You know, I got no skin in the game. And it looks like, well, no, I mean, I can identify instances prior to my enlistment where there were political ramifications, but the gay mafia is a disgusting abomination. It's a threat to the human genome. It's not, necessarily the rainbow kids, the human shields. We have bloodthirsty Turks. The United Nations is a fatherless, landless, stupid platform for the Reich whenever the flat Earth gains a foothold on the civilized side of the west of Jerusalem, where the sun rises. All this belongs to Jesus. Back in your boat. These people have been asserting protection of me my entire life. Their argument is that they can just rip me off. They can punish my every attempt to survive this situation because their intentions were never honorable. Otherwise, some of it would have made sense. 3 years old, they bring an 8-year-old in, which is unusual. He's a head and shoulders taller than me, beats me up for 3 days, bullies me, pushes me around and stuff. And then one day he comes in for the kill, and he gets myrtleized. And it turned out to have political ramifications. What do I get for it? Raped and gassed. These guys have no concept of honor, chivalry. We're playthings to them. And then I guess they didn't wager on the 3-year-old. Found out I had a connection to the Jacksons. They were just going to exploit the Jacksons. And my victories my opportunity. They've denied every opportunity. They've stolen every victory and punished every sin. I'm like Trump's campaign whipping boy, and I had no way of knowing about any of it. All these years, I battled depression because it would be abnormal after prolonged frustration. Because all I ever wanted is what's right and fair and best for everybody, and that should have been good enough. Because I'm bigger than most of them. I found the guy Hinckley was looking for. I even told his buddies to shoot him. That's how tight the situation is. You hear the things that I'm talking about. This is not a matter for the news to put on some puppet show or, oh, I don't need to talk to a doctor. I need to talk to a politician. I need to see a grown up. I mean, you have, in my living memory, raped interns until the clerks union could take over, for instance. Now all of a sudden I don't have a right to criticize, and then when you act like you could just act stupid, or I can't respond in kind, but I'm real important. I've never been allowed the health care I needed to make the living that would have justified dragging a family into the miserable mockery of the life I lived. But then finally having the opportunity to quantify a green light, having a reason to throw everything I had into it and rule certain things out, and then get the cue that led to Davies, and then one thing after another. We're definitely not affiliated, and I'm not under they said my protection right now, so escorted. I mean, I convinced the foreign sovereignty since '92. I didn't know our relationship. I didn't expect, but then I saw where he was mocking me. Like I'm supposed to see that. I'm not into celebrities, so he went home, and all these years, all the damage, the '92 Olympics, the LA riots, New Jack City, 30 years of crack epidemic, full of school shootings, and this guy doesn't even say Auf Wiedersehen on his way out of the country. Idiot cops are still just going about their routine. Immunity is nullified, so I hope the Supreme Court can do an effective some kind of, I don't know. People are asserting immunity is no longer qualified. We have to do something about the little tricks and loopholes and gimmicks that the communists are using. I mean, communists in general don't necessarily have to even be cognizant of the existence of a gay mafia, but the gay mafia is a real thing. And we have Anonymous, it's obviously the UN. Tell Merrill Lynch, tell Wall Street that everything they have been doing since I was 3 years old was just based on the presumption that they could eventually get away with raping a 6-year-old just by preventing him from living a normal life until when he gives us what we want, we'll help him out. Elon Musk, who's really in control of our space program now? Like, is there some benefit to having it in your hands as opposed to NASA's? I know that little the GIMP guy in the video with the cane is not really GIMP. He's I know his name. He's from New Jersey. I know where he used to work. I know he's KKK. I know he's a child molester. But I didn't know at the time. And I'm not a Muslim. God's not going to smite me for failing to Allahu Akbar, every wickedness. Because we have this thing called due process in the civilized world. You know, if that's allowed. Incidentally, that's who I'm looking for the thing with Colombia. Stupid.